opinions and beliefs presented on this program do not necessarily reflect those of the management, the affiliates and broadcast partners, or the sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
Scarefest Radio, the radio you can see.
And hello and good evening, everyone, and welcome to what will prove to be a train wreck of a council episode. I'm having internet problems. Brandon's having internet problems. Adrian lives in God's country over in Frankfurt, so apparently because it's state capital, they get good wiring. Who the fuck knows? But anyway, so welcome to the council episode of Scarefest Radio, the TV. See, I'm so off my game tonight.
Brandon did it.
Original broad. Actually, I have heat stroke, everybody. 3rd of July, one day before someone loses a finger. And, I go ahead and bring Adrian in. Okay, she's in. 2 days this week, I had to work. 2 days? 3 days.
3 days.
3 days. I was sitting in the cab of a tractor with no air conditioning, ambient temperature 110 degrees. That's not what it feels like. That was the actual, I had a little thermometer, and that was the surface temperature of everything in the cab that doesn't produce heat.
I mean, there is a heat wave right now.
Well, yeah, but there was also one in my tractor, and that's what made it bad. Okay? So anyway, so everybody, so I'm dehydrated. I'm lucky to be here. But it just, once again, I'm never going to die. I'm going to suffer with this body until like the rest of you are all dust and ashes, and then finally maybe God will strike me down. That's the only thing. That's my only guess. That is.
Oh my God.
So anyway, once again, everybody, sorry we got a little late start on getting online, but I have 2 internet lines, and the one I pay the most for is the one that wasn't working. This one is coming up green, so I have no idea. The world is upside down. Of course, if you're new to the show, which I doubt if anybody is, the council episodes are when Adrian and sometimes Brandon and myself get together and kind of give you a heads up on what you can expect. And we do have something, I'm going to use the word depressing to talk about tonight.
Yeah, a little bit.
But I mean, it's the world we live in. It's the world we live in is the way I'm going to put it. So where do we want to kick this off, Adrian, until Brandon gets his computer restarted or router or whatever the hell's going on there?
Well, I think that let's go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off.
Rip the Band-Aid off.
I'm gonna preface this by saying that we don't have a lot of answers right now. We asked a ton of questions. I know, so Wes and I met with the convention center recently, and we talked about some upcoming changes for 2026. One of those being that because of our size, because of the number of attendees that we have throughout the weekend, we are going to be mandated to use metal detectors for all entrances into the building. Now, that being said, one of the really good things about this is we kind of preempted it. They've been talking about it for a couple of years. Some of you saw we actually had them up and running for a little bit last year because they were brand new to the center. They were trying to use them in real time at an event. They weren't stopping anybody if they went off, but they were just like adjusting the settings and things like that. So some of you may have seen them already. But because we started opening the building earlier, queuing the line inside, I don't think it's going to be as impactful on us now as it would have been 2 years ago when we were just bringing people straight in from outside. So Obviously safety is a good thing. And we are all in support of doing things that's going to keep, everybody safe. With the metal detectors, we have a ton of questions as promoters that we asked. The security team on site there, they are going to be trialing the metal detectors at an upcoming event in September. So Wes is going to be there, Adam's going to be there, Annie, who's the head of our general security team, they're all going to go. They're going to see, how the operation works.
I'm going to get completely out of character here. I'm going to get a metal butt plug just to see what happens. Because I like to throw a wrench in things. No, seriously, what she's saying is true. Steps that we have taken to improve your experience will mitigate much of the disruption this will cause. That being said, expect some disruption. I wish there was a better way to put that.
So just a couple of quick things. Kelly, that's a great question. We don't know yet. I will tell you all that we asked them dozens of questions. And now that being said, the security team for the Central Bank Center wasn't in this meeting. So if they had been there, we probably would have gotten some more answers on the spot. But this was just a meeting with our event director and the Lexpo because, we just have floor plan things to talk about and that kind of stuff. But we don't know yet as far as, what that means for metal objects. So I have asked them for a very detailed, specific list of what is and is not allowed beyond the metal detectors. As soon as we have that, it will be on the website. Whatever, if there's some things like that we can push back on, because one of the things I brought up is a lot of people wear battle vests that have the studs and things like that. There's just a lot of question marks
and
right now.
Some people like Joanna just wear it as casual wear. So,
Yeah, exactly. But we do know that, we have a pretty good idea of how the flow is going to work. There's going to be multiple entrances on High Street with the metal detector. So it's not going to be like one line. Everybody has to single file through there. There is going to be an ADA accommodation for people who use mobility devices. They will be wanded instead of going through the metal detectors. If there's any consideration that you have that you can't go through a metal detector, that will be handled. There will be someone there that can help you. So just, keep that in mind. But again, we don't have a ton of answers right now, so I don't think that it would probably be helpful to take questions. This is just for those of you who come and watch us every month and you stay really plugged in and aware. We wanted to go ahead and let you all know literally as soon as we found out about it. So that's something we're actively working on, and we'll give you all as much information as possible.
My observation on it has been the metal detectors the cons I've been to that use them, they don't create a big problem on the entry line.
No.
The problem comes on your re-entry lines, which include smokers, people that go outside to vape. Now we do have an area, that little patio section, we need to figure out how to drive people out there rather than go out through the metal detectors and come up to works. And then one place we're worried about, because I've seen it kind of go out of control, is the Vine Street entrance, which is where the food trucks are. Everybody used to just willy-nilly going in and out of there between panels. Panel ends, you run outside, grab a smoke, grab a wiener dog or whatever the hell you're doing, taco, and think you're going to be able to run back in. But once again, it's a change of, because the great unwashed masses can't behave themselves. This is where we're at.
Well, and to Wes's point, what he was talking about with the food trucks, and that's one of the things that we're working on. we lost him completely, I think.
Completely. That leaves
Yeah.
everybody. No, just him. Okay.
Just
Hey, now we've got the top of Adrian's head. I can totally fix that. Let's see here. I tell you what, let's go to commercial break and I'll have that fixed when we come back.
Are you a fan of horror movies, books, comics, music, and collectibles? Roomorg magazine is for you. Subscribe today to receive 6 or 12 print issues annually and join me, executive editor Andrea Subisati, on an ongoing journey through the horror genre of the past, present, and future. Plus, get access to unmissable special editions such as A Century of Witches, 50 Years of Gore Cinema, British horror movies, and so much more. Roomorg, the world's premier horror and culture and entertainment magazine since 1997. Accept no substitute.
And other than needing to move Adrian over a little bit, we're back. So yes, Brandon finally crapped out. So yeah, sorry for your luck, people.
So I was going to put on a fancy hat since that's all everybody could see. But now that we're back. Okay.
Where's my pretty hat? Oh, it's in my box.
So with the food trucks being outside, because that was a really great point that Wes brought up in the meeting, was how at other conventions, reentry can get really busy if it's at like a side door. So one of the things that we're working on is we are going to try to make it where the food truck space is actually fenced in. So it's part of the con floor. There's a lot of stuff that we are working on. Somebody asked for a recap. So far, all we've talked about is the fact that we're getting metal detectors next year at the convention center, but we don't have a ton of information to share just yet. So as soon as we get an idea on what we can bring in, obviously, even last year, you couldn't bring in like big prop like weapons as part of cosplays. They had to be foam. We had a prop check last year, still figuring all of that out. Now, that was some crappy news. Let me give you some happy news. Ooh, I rhymed. So one of the things that we had been talking about even before we found out about the metal detectors, but this is pretty fortuitous because it's going to help us out a lot. One of the things that we are really excited about being able to have this year is a couple of our attendees are starting a business. It's called Here, Hold My Stuff. So Leah and David Hicks are going to be setting up a space at Scarefest weekend where they are going to offer lockers. So this works out really well with the metal detectors because if you leave the building, you're going to have to come back through the metal detectors to come back in. So if you need to leave the building at like a busy time of the day, you may experience a little bit of wait time coming back in. But because we are going to be able to have the lockers inside, if you need like to get rid of, your stuff, but you don't want to go back out, you're going to be able to meet up with Here, Hold My Stuff, and get you a locker. They're also going to have some small pull behind carts for rent, some of the collapsible stools, lots of cool stuff. So we're going to talk about that more when we get a little bit closer. But really excited about that. So that is something that also is going to help, mitigate some of the things that are going to come up with the metal detectors. So, yay.
Do want to answer a question in the chat room because I mentioned it last week. I probably shouldn't have teased it yet because found out this week it's going to be harder to do than we thought. But John Henderson asked, do you plan on incorporating some of the cool stuff from Spawn concepts used at the main show? There's some great unique things you did there. Now, first, I'm going to preface this, but if left up to me, hell no. And the reason being is I would like Spawn to be its own little butterfly over here and Scarefest to be Big Bird trying to eat it over here. Now, that being said, Adrian every day comes up with a new idea of how we're going to do something that we did at Spawn. So, and yes, Chris, that is this year, not next year. Scarefest 2026 we're talking about. One that I mentioned was trying to not recreate, but have a similar experience to the fire pit experience. And we found out there may be an option. I'm going to put it this way. If I understand it correctly now, there may be an option for that, but we're going to have damn little to do with it. Is that a good way to frame that?
Yeah. And, so one of the things that I will tease some of the events tonight. Hold on one second.
No, she froze.
Sorry.
There we go.
Brandon is trying to FaceTime me and it messed up my iPad. So thanks, Brandon, if you're watching. Hold on, let me text him. Can't answer. Mm-hmm. It freezes the live on my iPad. This would probably be prevented if I was using my laptop, but I need my laptop so that when we talk about things, I can look them up. Okay, so there are some things that we want to talk about as far as things that we are thinking for Scarefest weekend, but I don't want to say something about an event or an idea until we have an idea if it's even going to be viable. But that being said, I loved the vibe of Spawn. I know a lot of you loved the vibe from Spawn, but like Wes said, there is probably a happy medium that we're going to be able to strike a little bit, but we're not going to be able to recapture Spawn at weekend. That's not going to happen.
Take metal barrels out, set them on the sidewalk, and burn shit in there. And so that
right, exactly.
We'll have trash fires for you all to sit around. Yeah.
Yes. And I think there may already be some of those under a bridge a few blocks away, but don't go there. Those aren't our barrel fires. But to that point, yes, we have been exploring some options for some of the things that we may be able to do to kind of get that Spawn feel in the evenings at weekend. We're kind of hitting some walls right now. Lexington, October, you've got Keeneland. Prices on everything are really high, so trying to carve out a space that is centralized to us and make it our own is proving to be pretty difficult. That being said, we absolutely are going to be looking at bringing like the things that we love every year back. The Scarioke. We're going to have a Saturday VIP event at Manchester Music Hall. Things like that. We're going to keep those. We are looking at adding a few things. So hopefully have some more details about some of that stuff soon. But one of the things that Wes and I talked about that we wanted to ask you all about, and I know Katie Followell is in the chat because, I saw her engine comment, but let me tell you all, a few years ago, Katie said, hey, I really like this band Ghost. I know you all probably have never heard Katie say that she likes Ghost before, but
not once.
She does. No, never. And she was like, hey, I think it would be really cool because I've met some people at Scarefest that come like in Ghost cosplay. Maybe we could do a gathering, like a meetup, a meeting of the clergy. And dude, it was a huge success. And it's grown every year that she's done it. She's found like some really cool ways to bring the Ghost fandom into Scarefest weekend and not... Calm down, Katie. She's got some really cool stuff planned for this year too. That being said, one of the things that we wanted to do at Spawn were lobby takeovers. We want to do that at weekend as well. There's a lot of people who come to the show by themselves, like because maybe their significant other isn't into horror, or their friends aren't, or they don't have any friends, so they come by themselves. I mean, I've talked to all different sorts of people that attend Scarefest, just them. So I think that it would be a really cool thing if we can find some more lobby takeover style things, because Katie is going to be having her own Ghost convention before too long. So with the way that things are going over there for her. So, if anybody has any ideas, or you feel like, hey, you know what, I want to organize a fan meetup, at Scarefest. Please let us know, because we want to see that. We want to see what you guys can come up with and what can grow.
And we are watching the chat room, so if you say it in real time, we'll catch on.
Yes. And Tosh Moore just popped on. So Tosh and I were talking through email this week, and that is another cool thing that we probably can talk about. I don't have a lot of details yet, but Tosh does makeup demos. And we're trying to figure out the best way to work that out at the show. But originally we thought it might be a good fit for the classroom, but now we're kind of going back and forth a little bit. Some of you may remember a few years ago, Matt, and I'm blanking on your last name. I'm so sorry, Matt. If you see this, I apologize. It's me, not you. Matt did body painting at the show, and you could come by and you could watch him do body painting on his model, and it was super cool. So definitely want to look into something like that. Being able to bring in things for people to see and interact with that are low or no cost is always a win, for us. So, yeah, if anybody has any ideas for some cool things that you might like to do at Scarefest, please let us know. The lobby takeovers are really fun. If you have a big Freddy Krueger meetup, a big Jason Voorhees, yeah, exactly. Totally. Hi, everybody.
Katie, your last message in the chat room, someone was just to have popped in, doesn't read the way you think it reads. I'm just going to put it that way.
Okay, yeah. So Todd said, that's what I do with prosthetics. People love it. Oh, yeah, the Misfits, they were super cool. I don't know where that was, that like a COVID thing. Maybe they didn't come back after the pandemic. I don't know. But yeah, you guys, Paranormal 102, love it. Awesome. But yeah, let us know if you guys have any ideas.
Well, here, the ideas they've thrown out. Lauren, you in the chat room, you agreed with somebody else. How does one do a character meetup like Freddy Krueger? I don't understand the concept. If you don't mind typing a little bit, I mean, do people show up in striped shirts? I mean, what are we looking at? I understand when you're Ghost fans, or we're just talking about everybody that loves Nightmare on Elm Street movies, shows up and yeah, I like the movie. I don't understand. I want to know what your vision of the concept is.
Yeah, definitely. I would like to know that too. And 2 people 5 seconds apart said maybe Ice Nine Kills and Slipknot meetup. Someone said Ice Nine Kills fan meetup. So yeah, there's at least 2 of you that had the same thought at the same time. So I think so. Yeah. So definitely, let's see what we can develop from that. Oh, they're tied up in October. That makes sense. That makes total sense.
Okay, it's 9:30. Tell you what, you watch in the chat room. I'm going to do announcements.
Scott NS a Scooby-Doo.
Let me find the front page. There we go. Are you ready? I'm ready. Before we go, I want to say that I was honored once again that Adrian asked ChatGPT to rewrite something suitable for me by name.
Yes.
ChatGPT knows who I am. When the robots take over, I will be their favorite.
He will.
Now, all right. Before we jump into tonight's announcements, we've got something new for July. We're calling it Paranormal Fridays. Every Friday this month, we're dropping paranormal guest announcements. So ghost, investigations, haunted locations, psychic mediums, and things that go bump in the night are your thing. You're going to want to keep showing up. Now, let's get into tonight's guest. Our first paranormal guest is one of the biggest names in the field. Please welcome back Patty Negri. Patty's a psychic medium, paranormal investigator, author, and television personality known for Ghost Adventures, Master Chef, I had no idea, and dozens of appearances across the paranormal world. Whether you followed her investigations or her work helping people understand the unexplained, we're excited to welcome back Patty to Scarefest weekend this October. And joining our paranormal lineup, a fan favorite first appearance at Scarefest weekend. Please welcome Cindy Kaza. Cindy's a world-renowned psychic medium, best known for Dead Files, Ulcer Files, and her current effort on Stream Beacon TV, Paranormal Mysteries. There it is. I missed one. She's become one of the most recognized and respected names in paranormal television. Come meet Cindy Kaza this weekend at Scarefest weekend. Back to the horror side, please welcome Malcolm Denner. Horror fans know Malcolm as Moochie from John Carpenter's Christine. The unlucky kid who's running with a certain possessed Plymouth didn't exactly end well. If you're a fan of the Carpenter classics, you're definitely going to want to stop by and meet Malcolm this October. Our final announcement tonight. Please welcome Shiloh Fernandez. Shiloh starred as David in the 2013 remake of Evil Dead, one of the most intense and brutal horror films of the last decade. He also appeared in Red Riding Hood and Evil Dead. He also appeared in Red Riding Hood and Evil Dead. Helped introduce him. That sentence is not correct. Anyway, helped introduce him to a whole new generation of horror fans. And I'm doing Ron Burgundy or whatever's on the fucking paper I'm reading. Okay, join us this October as we welcome Shiloh Fernandez to Scarefest weekend. That's it for tonight. Remember, Paranormal Fridays continue all month long, so we still got plenty more paranormal guests to reveal. We'll see you next Friday. Hopefully nothing follows you home. Oh, wasn't that girly though? Still changes feet. No, that's girly. Totally girly. Yeah. Nothing following you.
No. Well, okay. I thought it was spooky. Okay, so all right. I saw this come up in the chat, and I'm gonna talk about it. If you all are still watching, I think I saw 2 different people say it. I get it. I want Fiona. I would love to have Fiona and Brad. I think I've talked about this before. I'm going to address it again. I tried diligently for Spawn and Weekend this year. Fiona's amazing. She's working her tail off. She was filming during Spawn and she will be filming during Scarefest weekend. I promise you on everything, if Fiona is available on either one of our show dates in 2027, she'll be there. She wants to come. We want her to come, but she's filming. And Brad wants to come when Fiona's available too. So I promise I will do whatever it takes to get them. It is not going to be this year. I'm sorry. I'm sorry too for myself because I really, really tried. So yes, she is busy making the pit. So I promise though, as soon as we can get her, we will. A couple of things. I saw quite a few people mention Guar in the comments. We had Guar several years ago. No plans on getting Guar this year, but if you are familiar with CreepyCon down in Knoxville, happening at the end of this month, Wes is going to be there. We have a booth there. We love CreepyCon. They love us, and they have Guar. They also have Guar and Twisted doing a concert before the show. I think it's like on Thursday night or Friday night. It's at the Mill and the Mine in Knoxville. Tickets are over halfway sold out. So what's Brad doing? Yeah, he only wants to come when Fiona's available too.
So the answer is whatever he goddamn well wants, Jake.
Yeah, exactly, whatever he wants to do. Oh, thank you. Love you too, guys. But yeah, no, I tried. I offered Brad a kidney. Like to his face. I was like, look, what's it gonna take? But no, so we love them. They definitely do want to do the show just as soon as Fiona's filming schedule allows. But I only say that because we've talked about it before, but I'm not going to talk about any more guests that we may or may not have, because that's what Friday nights with Wes are for. So any other questions about guests, steel trap. And Wes, I'm so glad that you said Cindy's last name, because I would have mispronounced that. I thought
did
it was
for years. I did it for years. I finally just came out and asked.
Oh, okay.
So,
All right.
Yeah. It's,
Katie said, have you got to meet Brad? Is he nice? Yes. Lovely. I cannot wait to have him as a guest. Your kidney or someone else's. I'm not saying anything else. Not saying anything else on that. Anyway, the other things that Wes and I wanted to talk about that don't involve organ harvesting. Okay. So for the people that are still here, you're the dedicated crowd. You love us. We love you. I understand if you had to leave after the guest announcements because of a work obligation, but it still hurts a little.
Watch TV.
Yeah, exactly. Go and watch the fireworks.
Work.
So one of the things that we wanted to talk about is now, there's not a lot of times that I will pull out the I told you so card. I like to just bask in that in silence, but the convention center forced us last year to use Club C, the large cafeteria at the end of the Green Mile. And we told them over and over and over it was not going to go well. It didn't go well. That our very first postmortem meeting back in October, the end of October, November, they were like, well, you all were right. It was a lead balloon. It went nowhere. So that being said, we did outgrow Club B, which is the cafeteria. When you come down from the third floor to the second floor, you're at the landing, just over to the right. It's kind of tucked in behind the escalators. We have outgrown that. So one of the things that we talked about this week was, where do we go from here? We're too big for this space, but we're not using, the space. I'm tired, boss. I can't do that. So there is another section right behind Club B, which don't worry about it. You'll be able to see when you walk into the cafeteria.
I'm going to pause there once again. When they built this building, the engineers were drunk.
Yeah. I mean, they're something. I think maybe they sat down and drew the plans in a mirror. But just to give you a quick visual, when you walk into the cafeteria, you walk in through, there's a large seating area, and all the food options are essentially on the right wall. That's where all the lines are and everything. If you just keep going, just keep walking straight.
The uninviting looking doors.
Yes, there's 2 sets of double doors. They're both going to be propped open. Please go through the doors. There is another club just behind that one. There will be more food. There will be more seating. It's going to keep going. We don't have to sit on the floor and eat. So just to let you all know, we heard your cries. Their lack of revenue from the move last year. The food court's coming back. Thank you all. So really excited about having the food court back on this side of the atmosphere, because that was just, I never went, not one time. No. I mean, that's not saying much.
I did go one time just to see if anybody else did. And there was 3 people standing there.
Aaron said, I'm at work and I'm still watching. No excuses.
Yeah, the challenge to me of using the extra thing will be, it depends on how crowded Club B is, whether or not people can actually see that there's a whole nother room beyond that.
That's true. So I'd like to keep an aisle from when you walk in the door that you can walk just straight back. Now, before I lose it, there's a question in the chat. And Mike, I would like, if you don't mind, to please expand a little bit on what you said, because I really would like to address it. He says, just curious, is there a way to fix reentry? The past 2 years, I have had a lot of trouble with reentry. I haven't heard that from anybody before. So if you could please let me know what specifically. If it's too much to type here, please email me. We can cover it internally and then, at the next meeting, because I haven't had anybody tell me that they have had trouble with reentry. So it could be that other people are having the issue and just not saying anything.
The only time I've seen even minor issues with reentry are when we're still in the early flood of people coming in.
Yeah.
Because then you got to have your sorting hat on and do
exactly.
that number.
Yes. If you come into the convention center and then within the first hour on Saturday, you leave and you try to come back in, I can see that being a little bit messy. But that being said, please let me know what you mean by that, Mike. One other thing, though, that I was going to say that somebody brought up as far as reentry, there are going to be spaces. Now, technically, you're not supposed to smoke right outside at the convention center, not on High Street.
Farther than we realized, by the way.
Yeah, you're supposed to go across the street.
Supposed to go
over to where
beyond Club C.
Yeah, because as Wes said, it's so much better to get hit by a car than to smoke a cigarette.
Than to trim that nasty 20 seconds off your life smoking a cigarette. Right. But yeah, they actually said their rules say you're supposed to cross the street.
Yes.
And
now that being
laugh
said,
in their face, but
yeah, we're not going to advertise smoking, vaping areas outside. What I am going to say is that there will be a place off of the off of the third floor and off of the second floor where you can go outside that is contained and you can come back in without having to utilize reentry. When we know exactly what that looks like, we're going to post it. The first level, the Main Street lobby, like we talked about already with the food trucks, we're working on containing the area the food trucks are in. So that also is counted as convention floor space. There will be security out there. I'm calling them the Border Patrol agents. They are supposed to watch like the fences and things like that outside. So they're going to watch that area. So there will be a way to go outside on level 1, on level 2, and on level 3 that do not require reentry, but they're going to be very specific areas. So we will talk about that. The information will be on the website. Stu had a great question. Has the guest list been updated on the website? No, probably not in 3 weeks. Somebody asked me about it a couple of days ago, and I haven't. I thought Brandon was doing it. Maybe he thought I was doing it. I'm kind of being a brat about it, and I'm telling Brandon he needs to do it. So it should be updated soon, though, Sue.
I do want to make one distinction to what somebody said. Now, a lot of times when you, somebody said about they were coming in from the food court or food truck area and said the staff would not let them in. That's another instance where we call them the blue vest, but they're central bank located people or employed people. They don't always know. Now, early in the day, I can understand that because they were told early in the day that was not an entry point or re-entry point. But I can't imagine them doing that later in the day. But you never know. I see. He's coming back. All right, let me.
Oh, God. I am so sorry, guys. I got a visit from the internet gremlin.
Okay, let me.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Look.
Real quick. So somebody asked, is the walkway from the Hyatt going to be blocked off again? We have no control over that, and we actually don't know from day to day. That walkway is controlled by Rupp Arena. It's not actually controlled by the Central Bank Center. And it's a really great question because I don't know. I know that there's going to be a metal detector at Vine Street on level 1 and on level 2. But I don't know about the walkway. I don't know how that works, but we will make sure to ask and get that to you. All right. So Mike responded. He said, I'm in and out getting a lot of auto, so I need some time to transfer to car and come back in. I'm always told by security that I have to go back into the line and go through all of the barriers to get back in. Now, that is never Scarefest staff. It's always security for maybe the convention center. They never have staff shirts on, so I assume they are not Scarefest. I feel like a criminal for trying to jolt by and getting yelled at. Okay, that is really great information to have.
Yes,
Mike.
we will bring that up.
But that it won't matter this year, because this year you will have to go back through because of the metal detectors.
Well, yeah, but you'll still have a re-entry door, won't we? It'll just have the other set of metal detectors.
Yes, but you will have to come through a specific door, and there may be a little bit of a line with the metal detector. Right. So just keep that in mind. It should not have happened to you in years past. We will definitely pass that on to the convention center and let them know. Thank you for taking the time to type that out. But we will have reentry through the metal detectors this year. So keep that in mind. Now, this may be a good opportunity to say again that we are going to have a booth inside that is called Here, Hold My Stuff, and they do locker rentals. So if you're not doing a ton of huge items, I think their prices are really good on their lockers. I don't know if I'm supposed to share that, so I'm not going to say exactly what they are yet. They may change. They're just now getting started on this. So, but there will be lockers available for rent. Also, they have little pull behind carts that they're going to rent out for the day. So in lieu of going to your car, maybe one of those options would work better for you. So just something to keep in mind.
Okay.
Will there be
let's go ahead get our movie review, and I got something else to show you people. And
I got you.
But when we come back, if Brandon, since he's been gone for the entire hour, if he wants to run a little long, we can. First, go to the video. We want to tease a little something that's been not quite Titanic buzz online, but something the ladies are talking about.
Hey, Scarefest fans, this is Joe Lewis of Bonehead Weekly, and I finally got to watch a movie I wanted to see last summer, but I haven't been able to, and I have the cheap Netflix. I don't know if you all know this about me, but I'm a cheap man, and I actually don't like spending money on ridiculous things if I don't have to, unless it's something clearly behind me that's ridiculous, except for Stay Puft. That was a gift. Sony finally lifted their thing on Netflix where you can watch some of the movies, because if you have the cheaper version with the ads, you don't get some of the Sony films. Well, anyway, I finally got to watch Until Dawn. Until Dawn came out last summer. It's directed by David Sandberg, who directed like Lights Out, one of the Annabelle films. Also directed the 2 Shazam films, which I really liked the first Shazam movie. I wanted to see it. Looked cool. Based on a video game. I've never played the video game. Finally, I get to watch it last weekend, and I got through it in a couple of minutes. In the first 10, I got through it in a couple of viewings, I should say. And in the first 10 or 15 minutes of it, I was just grinding my head. These kids, they've got problems. They're in a car trip. They're going to a house somewhere in the woods looking for a sister, cousin, something. Oh, God, I have to sit through this crap again. And it doesn't get any better. And then finally the mass killer shows up, and then I can't tell you what happens next. And then something flips, and then I go, oh, well, now the movie's interesting. Not because of the mass killer showing up, but because of the movie. Giving you a little bit more plot to it. Until Dawn is all these, what I just said, they're there to find who cares, right? And what happens is that something in the house resets. They can't get away, like there's a wall of rain or something, and they can't get past that. And it resets, and they kind of have to Groundhog Day live things over again. Now, this has been played out in numerous other movies, so it's slightly interesting. And like I said, you all have made play the video game and love it. There's different ways to die in this movie by several different things. To me, it's an amalgamation of a bunch of other movies, right? Groundhog Day, that horror film a few years ago, Happy Death Day, which is much better than this. A Cabin in the Woods, which I love, but I know is controversial and not a lot of people like it. This movie is fun, though. And it does have what I would say some interesting kills. The problem is that it's almost too little too late. So what I mean by that is it's by the third act and about 50, 60 minutes into it, it feels like, oh, we got to start wrapping this up and explaining this, which isn't necessarily what you want in a movie. Okay. You don't want that, especially when one of your villains is Peter Stormare. And if you don't know, look him up. He's one of the best devils of all time. So Google Peter Stormare. I enjoyed the movie. It's not terrible. If you have Netflix, definitely check out Until Dawn. Like, I apologize that I'm a year later finally getting to it, but I just wasn't going to pay to see it. And I can see it in the theater, and I just don't. Paying to rent on demand, I just don't know why I don't do it. But I don't do it. Check it out. It's got a lot of cool kills in it. It's not terrible. Don't invest too much of your time. I still highly recommend David Sandberg's other film called The First Shazam. That's actually his best movie for me, what I've seen. But check out Until Dawn on Netflix if you're into kind of Groundhog Day, different people getting murdered different ways. Just my big problem is that last part of, oh, we got to wrap all this up and the nonsensical reasons of why it worked, or none of it makes any sense. So don't even pretend, don't even try, don't even think about it too much. None of it makes any sense. This has been Joe Lewis, Bonehead Weekly. Check out Until Dawn on Netflix. Boom, boom, boom.
And welcome back, everybody, to the once again. We're stumbling along this episode. Do we have anything we can tell them about photo ops, Adrian?
Yes, we can. All right, guys, listen. I want to say, this is not for lack of trying, but it just sometimes getting information from people takes a little bit of time. So I have sent in everything that they need from us to build the photo ops and get them live. We're just waiting on some information like photo op pricing and things like that from some of the reps and from some of the guests. So as soon as we have a majority, then we will release the photo ops. We do have quite a few of the solos built, and I'm going to make a post really soon, if nothing else, to get Brandon Griffith excited about the photo ops that we want to offer this year, because we have some awesome ideas, like some really cool ideas. So we need to see how many of these ideas are feasible and what we're going to be able to offer in the space and the time that we have. But soon. I was hoping by the 1st, but here we go. Enjoy your fireworks. We'll work on photo ops. And Nathan Carroll, did somebody say photo ops? All right. Brandon, did you have things that you want to talk about?
Well, speaking of photo ops, like I just, that's something that me and Nicole are going to sit down and look at, really close. Because, one thing that Nicole knows about is photo ops and like how to really pull those off. Yeah. And so, she's watched more horror movies probably than I could ever imagine. And so we're going to sit down and look at those. But I'm really excited about what me and her have talked about so far. Because, like, as co-owners, of Scarefest, we talk all the time about like what this is going to look like and everything. And like, if you guys didn't know, like, I just want to make sure everyone knows that Nicole is a co-owner of Scarefest. Like, me and her are co-owners. We have been since 2017. And really, it's awesome that Scarefest is a family-owned business. Like, I really enjoy it. And one of the fun things about all this is that we get to sit down, in the evenings and talk about all the fun stuff, like, photo ops and like, what are we going to do with those and kind of all that kind of stuff. So it's, one of the things that like we've pitched out, just back and forth between ourselves, just with Evil Dead and stuff, like some of the props that are coming in, I'm really super excited about. And what we've got to figure out is a good, comfortable medium between, because it's not always feasible, to bring in like these big, huge prop sets that we used to do, because photo ops just can't run them that way.
Yeah. And
so we've got to find a way to kind of do that on a lesser scale. And, Nicole's came up with some good ideas that I'm waiting to hear back from her on, if those are going to come to fruition or not. So that'll be good. But, one of the other things that we talked about too was, the in-costume photo ops versus like the celebrity, like in person. Yeah. And we kind of did that with Adam Newsom and the Texas Chainsaw folks. And I thought that worked out really well. I think the in-costume photo ops are a really good idea, and I think they work really well. And I think you've got to have a good mix of props. Some people prefer folks being in costume that aren't the actual actor, and the actual actor is in the picture. So that's stuff that we've been batting back and forth. But now if the prop setups come in, like I hope they will, I'm super excited about photo ops.
It'd be a good time. Jake asked about a green screen. Now, I know that this has been something that's been like hit or miss in the past as far as, some places do green screen. It's not really something that we have explored too much, but I mean, it's something that I think that it's been really cool that we've been able to do the large prop sets. We have been able to bring in different things. Again, like Brandon mentioned, bringing in people in costume. We've had cosplayers to support the photo op. So all of that stuff is really great. And like tonight, I actually worked with talking to a couple of the attendees who are really big fans of photo ops and trying to kind of pick their brain and be like, hey, let's think of something that's never been done before. And I cannot wait. I can't wait. And on top of that, guys, we're bringing in Brian Pinnacus, who has created a Jeepers Creepers suit for Jonathan. We've got Troy's going to be there with the truck. Now we've got Gina Phillips. Anyway, I don't want to like geek out too hard, but I'm just saying there's a lot of really cool things in the works. Okay. Let's see. Oh, there was one other thing that I wanted to talk about. Let's see. I made a note. It is. Mandy asked before we went to break, will there be limited photos and signings for the Raimies like there were with Robert Englund? Mandy, I'm not sure if you're still watching. Sorry, it took me a second to get back to that. Right now, not sure. We have a lot of things as far as the floor in the works. There may be something with Sam Raimi specifically where we do a queue. If we do that, we will talk about it well in advance. We will explain exactly how it is going to work. There will be information on the website that you'll be able to reference. So don't worry if there is a special consideration for any of our guests, including the Raimies. We will post.
But there is one guy in Tennessee that will say we didn't tell him. He's been messaging me monthly, at least minimum.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about that. That is something that, you're not the only one. It's
I've watched the line cues a lot, and obviously me and Nicole, co-owner of Scarefest, like me and her have gone around to a lot of shows. And I've timed Sam and them at a few different shows. Oh, yeah. But one of the things that we always look at is like photo op sales and things like that. It's kind of gauge like anyone that we would do a line queue system on. I mean, that's definitely something we'll talk about later on, but like what Adrian said. But we do take a look at it very carefully.
Okay, let's see. I'm trying to catch up here. The panels list. Listen, calm down, Matt. What time is it over there? It's early. I know. You can't.
It's like Monday at 1:30 or something like that.
You know what? So I know that Wes normally does a special episode that is like all about speakers. But let me just say, we did get the speakers approved. Wes did a phenomenal job picking out some really good speakers this year.
It's all on me now.
No.
Bus
I'm sorry.
Wes. Yeah.
No. It was a team effort, but Wes did got all the information together, reviewed everything, and spoon-fed it to me because he is rock star. But he also already has done a preliminary schedule for the speakers. We have reached out to the folks who are currently scheduled. We've got some awesome alternates, some people that are on the wait list that we're going to, maybe find some time for. It depends on how things shift around. We've got speaker graphics should be rolling out pretty soon. So we've got the speakers ready to go. The panels we're still a ways away on.
Yeah, we're talking probably October 12th.
Yeah. I mean, something not far off from that.
Yeah.
We have some ideas, but we don't have a full panel list yet. So I'm sorry. And I can't believe it was you who broke first and not Barb. Yeah.
Wow.
So, let's see. Matt had a lot of bad food at Spawn. Define bad.
American.
Okay, let's see. American.
You couldn't believe how much shit we fry.
Well, I mean, look, there are places where it is commonplace to eat deep fried sticks of butter.
We fry Twinkies. You can actually take it. Yes,
I still haven't had a deep fried Oreo, and I'm regretting it every day.
I want one so bad, but you know what? Let me tell you something else, though. I don't know if Naomi from Chocolate Treasures is watching. I know she's really busy, but like I can't stop thinking about her white chocolate Oreos. Since Spawn, I had one. I can't stop thinking about them. Like it's a problem. So might have to take a trip. Guys, I might have to take a trip. But deep fried Oreos are amazing. Hi, Doug. No, I don't want a deep fried Oreo. For Brandon, yes, he can have one. I can't. It'll ruin my life.
I'm waiting till Kentucky legalizes marijuana. I want to see a deep fried marijuana leaf so badly.
I mean, it's pretty much there. Like all you got to do is go into your doctor and like tell them that you've got anxiety, and it's all good.
I'm not giving up.
I'm depressed because I don't have any marijuana.
Right.
Well, no, you don't say that.
Oh, my bad.
Like you just abstain from other chemical substances. Go into your doctor and tell them that you've got anxiety. And hey, I'm just saying, medical marijuana, not that hard.
Oh my gosh. Listen, let me just look, but I don't want to jinx myself. Let me look first. 1, 2, 3. Yes. All of the guest announcements posted in order, exactly how they were supposed to. Yay, technology. I'm figuring it out. Yes. Okay, sorry. Every week there is a problem. Every week there's a problem. Everything posted. So let's see. That is amazing. Really excited about that. Now, if we could just get the website updated with the guest announcements.
Brandon.
It will be updated this weekend. I swear by all that is holy. Me and Nicole, who's the co-owner of Scarefest, we're going to sit down and we're going to look at that this weekend and definitely get that updated.
Excellent, because with the guest announcements, got to make sure that, because people are like, oh my gosh, is this person not coming? I know you just announced them, but are they not going to be there now?
I know everybody that is on me and your co-owner, Nicole Griffith. And so that's on us. Like I'm going to work on it this weekend I should have it updated. I think should have them updated by tonight, I would imagine.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay. I'm sending certain people to the website. Oh, that's right. Katie's out here hustling. So we need to make sure that the website stays updated.
Very true.
Yeah.
And in general, it should be updated regardless. But Katie, your opinion is it counts twice.
Why does Katie get 2 votes?
Katie gets 2 votes. She's out there hustling.
That's true. That's true. Gotcha, right. Well, I will say that, you know, all kidding aside, like, you know, Katie has done awesome things. I mean, like, I know that we joke and people like, oh, you know, she's joking, guys. It's a bit. I mean, she's serious. She is serious, but she's joking. So, you know, oh, yes. Also, before we forget, anybody that's still here, if you are planning on being at the Lexington Tattoo Expo this weekend, we do have a table there. So it's, you know, stop by and see Kira and Megan. There are no spoilers. There's no spoilers because Brandon didn't set up the booth. So just, you know, just keep that in mind. Brandon already got his spoiler in. If you didn't catch it, I'm not saying it, but there already is a spoiler out there floating around on the internet. So, yeah. Let's see. Okay. All right.
Well, are we about ready to go?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. I forgot to put the banner up, but next week, Carrie Keegan is coming on the show, everybody. Carrie Keegan, who called me, incidentally called me a silver fox.
Carrie did a grand exit out of the Marriott. Like, she turned around, like, as she was exiting the lobby, turned around and did basically a so long love Kentucky to everyone in the lobby. There was like 100 people in there, and like they all stopped, like turned around and was like, holy shit, that's Carrie Keegan. And she gave us a grand farewell. It was awesome.
Carrie is amazing.
So everybody, see you next week. We'll have more paranormal announcements because it's
real quick. I just want to close on one statement real quick. So me and Nicole, who's the co-owner of Scarefest, I was talking to her earlier, and her and I agree. Like, we just want to take a moment to say how awesome that Diana, Adrian, Wes, you guys like are absolutely doing a phenomenal job, and we couldn't ask for better. And especially Nicole, like I mean, you know, I love you guys, you know that. But Nicole, the co-owner, like, she was really bragging on Diana and Adrian and you, Wes. So I just wanted to say that real quick.
Thank you all. We appreciate you.
See you next week.
Bye.